Yo, Dan Letsyn here, welcome to the newest Synthesize Sunday episode. In this video I would like to show you a nasty little sound, what I did last night, instead of sleeping basically. So I didn't sleep too much to make you some interesting sounds for you guys. Here it is. So you may think, okay, this is not the best sound. But what I did here is I made an FM8 preset, an FM8 patch basically, an FM8 sound, which sounds something like this. Is a kind of growly bass. I didn't use any post-pro instead of these two OTTs and this one EQ to create this FM8 sound. And the cool thing in it, that you can use the morph square to morph your sound a little. The difference is not very drastic between those sounds, but I think you will like it. So what I did there is I exported this sound and imported it into Serum. This is what I basically always do, imported the sound into Serum and use it as a wavetable and just had to play with it. Interesting sound, I think. But let's first explore the FM8 preset. So it is very simple. The expert tab contains 3 oscillators. The first one is a sine wave on ratio 1 like always. This feedback function, it is important here because without that we don't get that growly sound. So I modulated it with a 5th formant on ratio 5. And I again modulated operator F with another oscillator, another operator, and this is a 1+6 on ratio 4. And the 4th operator is a sine on ratio 6 and it modulates E. And what I did there is I use 3 outputs. So I use operator F as an output, I use the filtered one as an output, and then use the saturated one as an output, plus I added a slight amount of noise to it. So let's first check the filter, because that is basically almost the same, almost always the same. I use a kind of band pacey stuff, but I didn't make it full band pace. I made it some interesting kind of filter type. So this is the filter which goes out. I use this envelope to modulate the filter movement. Plus I used the saturated one with some noise. And the noise makes some great tone to the sound. It makes a little dirtier, it makes some, you know, a little crunchier and growlier, more distorted kind of sound. It gives you a tone like it was distorted a little more. Okay, and the operator F pure output sounds like this. So this is all what I combined. And the output, I think it is pretty interesting. Maybe this is some interesting tone. But another thing I want to talk about on this preset is the effects, because I use a tube amp and I use a speak EQ to cut out all those frequencies what I didn't like. And the phaser and the flanger gives some more very important tone to it. And the chorus delay at the end to make the sound a little fatter. And another thing to talk about is I added 2 voices of unison. And this is all the patch basically. And I added 2 OTTs and an EQ. And one more thing to talk about is I made the bottom frequencies below at around, I don't know, like 900 Hz mono. So I made mono everything below that. This is what you can see here on the utility tool. Maybe we can go a little lower, we don't need to push up the split too high. So anyway, with this slider, with this knob, you can set the split frequency of what you can make mono under it. So this was the FM8 patch, and I exported that sound and imported it into Serum. And I used some slight FMing using a square waveform. I set the octave to +2, and I set this movement based on LE41 as a frequency modulation from oscillator B. The sub oscillator doesn't give the sub basically, but it gives some body to the sound because it is tuned out to 2 octaves above the main oscillator, so it is 2 octaves higher than the main oscillator. So this is I think it's a little weak, but with this it definitely has some more body, more aggressive tone. Especially you can hear it in the mix. So I think it is important. I added an hyperdimension, like always, a little distortion, and I filter that using a post filter, because without that the sound turns a little too noisy. I don't really like that. Ouch, this is ear bleeding, but with that it's cool. I added a chorus too, just to fatten up my sound, and the EQ makes some great change to the sound, because this is what makes the sound a little talkier, I think. Okay, this is the preset itself, and I use one EQ and a saturator, first boosting up the volume a little, and I automated the output, the main volume of the preset, to match to the song. Okay, so this was the sound, and well, basically these were the 2 sounds what I wanted to share with you guys. You can download it from the video descriptions below. I hope you enjoyed that. Don't forget to subscribe, don't forget to like this video and drop your comments. I love reading your comments, and see you in the next video, guys. Bye bye.